All right, here's what we're going to do on this video. Something I've wanted to do for a while. And I'll be honest with you, I've watched enough YouTube videos of people that get out and hunt artifacts to know that if you film long enough, you'll throw one of these videos out there. And it is a little bit of a filler, but I don't know what I'm about to find, but I'm going to show you what a 30-minute hunt looks like. And that is what the majority of my hunts consist of, about 30 minutes. But multiple days before I get enough footage for a video. Not going to be the case today. We're going to make an entire video off of one 30-minute hunt, and I'm going to show you everything in all of its glory or lack thereof. All right, let's get out here and see what the old garden has got to turn up today. All right, the first thing that we're going to look at is the situation with the dirt, and that's a good sign. That's a lot of water been washing through, so hopefully a lot of rock uncovered. All right, let's get out here and show you every little thing that catches my eye that I bend over to pick up in 30 minutes. How's that? All right, first thing that caught my eye was this. Now, it's not a true artifact, although somebody could look at that and say, oh, that's a perforator. That's a little hand drill, that's something. Well, here's the problem with it. And this is what I tell a lot of people that show me rocks. And they say, that right there has got the shape and the feel, and that could, well, you see that line running right down the middle? That tells me that one gigantic flake broke off there, one broke off there, and on the other side, we don't have any sort of napping anywhere on the edge. This is debitage. Sure, it's an artifact in its own right. It was broken off of a piece of larger stone at some point, most likely in the process of making an artifact, but not ever really used as a tool. Just natural breaks all over it. I always check things like this, even though I know that that's 99% not an artifact, but it's non-native material. That's a little tiny flake of Knox chert. And sometimes all you see is a little tiny piece. So it's always, I know it's non-native, I know they brought it here, so I'm always going to stop and check those. And to be honest with you, I keep them. Keep them in a little jar. Why? I don't know. I just like them. And there's another piece of chert. Really important stuff, especially where I'm hunting. I'll be honest with you, this is one of the things that I really key in on a brand new site. If I see that shiny, smooth, gray, black chert anywhere on the surface, I know that they were there, and I need to be kind of paying attention. It's important stuff. And something else caught my eye in this particular spot, and I'm not sure what to call this material, and I'm not totally sure if it's native or not. I suspect it isn't, but it's kind of like a, I don't know, a reddish type chert. Maybe a jasper, maybe just heat treated, not sure. But this particular spot has got quite a bit of it, but I have yet to find a really good artifact made out of it. Hopefully one will turn up. And there's a really good example of a fire rock that has been very close to or in a cooking fire. And that's not surprising when you kind of look at this area right in here. There were several hearths in this area, and so those turn up. But that's another good indicator to know if you're on a good site when you start seeing some of that stuff pop up. I thought that was chert. It was not. We'll just keep you on here for a second. This is a really good looking area of the field. Lots of material and lots of washing. That's a good combination usually. That's quartz, but it is high quality quartz. Look at the curve on the back side, on this side, right in here. I call that the kerf. No idea if that's the right term or not, but tells me that this was, it's not just a random rock, it was driven off by force. Gets that potato chip kind of curve to it. Very thin and, you know, very sharp. That could easily been used as a scraper. I'm not saying that it has. There's no evidence that it has. But there's no reason why they wouldn't have used a flake like this for scraping. Some nice sharp edges on it. All right, we got our first broke, and it is really broke. But that is everything but the little tip, and that is so thin. It's a possibility that it's one of those Garden Creek style kind of triangular points. They tend to be a little bit elongated, but it's so thin, it's also possible that that's the tip to a drill. It's got nice thickness to it, but it's narrow. And guys, I've never found an intact drill, not even a hint of one. So those kind of sting a little bit, but it's the first projectile point slash tool. So we're on the board. I actually have a theory why I'm not finding drills where I'm hunting. This is what I would call a high mountain camp. And so this is a place that had been used, I believe, annually. You know, piece of glass. Every single year, coming through the hunter-gatherers, chasing the, you know, the berries and the nut harvest up the mountains. But I don't think it's a place that they spent great lengths of time. I think the place you'd be more likely to find drills is wherever they winter camped, wherever they kind of stayed for a time. Now I found a drilled banner stone and a drilled gorget in this spot, but those were most likely just brought up with them. I'm not sure that they were really working on that type of material up here. Could be wrong, could find a good drill tomorrow, but I just kind of have my doubts. And I know that they use drills for other things than stone, so. But I think this was more of kind of just a brief stopping point and not a place they spent a great amount of time. I just kicked up a base to a blade. So whether or not that ever made it to use or whether it broke in making, I won't know. I will say it's a little bit thick, but here's the telltale. When you look down the edge, let's zoom you in here. You see the wavy lines? Let's see if I can clean it off a little bit better for you. You see how that spine on that rock just wiggles back and forth? That's from napping. That's from strikes going off one side and then the other, and back and forth and back and forth. Something tells me that may have been broke though, before it ever really got put to use. Just a little awkward looking. Another piece of that Knox chert. Certain times of the day, it really just glows. All right, it's decision time. I've made 4 passes up and down this field. And you've seen what I found. Losing light, do I quit or do I make one more pass? Gotta make one more pass. Maybe this will be the one. All right, I thought I had one. Got the right shape, right? What we got on that side? Look at that natural ridge. And you know how we were looking at the ridge on the blade a minute ago? Look at that ridge. Nice and straight. Even the edges, they're straight. They don't have that wavy nature to them. So, completely natural breaks. And it stays here. All right, I've got what could be a hammerstone. Or that could just be a rounded rock from that creek over there nearby. What's going to make the difference? Well, I'm going to look at the surface of this rock. And what I'm looking for is one side that has got an abnormal amount of pitting. I'm really going by a lot of feel here because it's so dirty. And guys, I'm just not seeing it. River rock stays here. Hey, there we go. Sitting up on that little pedestal. And that's not even a broke. It's got one little ear thing here missing, but that's just a crude point. Kind of a uniface little deal. Oh, don't make a liar out of me. Oh, this one's a tough one, guys. All right, I got to stick to what I told you. Everything in me wants to say that's a point, but what do we got right there on top? A natural ridge. That could be from where the edge of that thing broke off, but we got another natural edge running right down here. And we got all this, which is natural kerf, or not natural, but it's a piece of debitage. It was driven off. Fooled me. But it stays here too. All right, now we got one. There we go. And it is by no means pretty. But this has everything we've been looking for. I'm telling you, it ain't pretty. But it's got that football shape. It's called bifacing. It's got the napping lines that we're looking for. No natural ridges. Just a really ugly little point. One I say they got tired of working on. And one more piece of chert. Almost to the end of my last pass for today. I don't know if you can hear that deer. It is blowing at me. I'd say it wants to get into this garden and it's getting a little irritated with me sitting around here. Some good material. Yeah, I'm hunting in flip-flops. I do that from time to time. All right, guys, about to the end of the row. I think we're done for the day. So there you have the realities of artifact hunting. At least, oh, shut up. At least for me. So maybe if nothing else, you'll understand why I'm not putting out 14 videos a week. And if you're considering artifact hunting, maybe it'll keep you from getting discouraged. If you don't do like the video show and go out and come back with a pocket full of incredible artifacts. But you know what? There's some incredible artifacts here. They're just underneath that dirt. And that's why I'm going to come back. And you're going to see more things from this field in the future. All right, guys, that's enough for today. I'll see you again real soon.